But also, more than anything, when I say I like the vibe that Asmongold has, I don't even mean just Asmongold in general. I mean that vibe in general. That fucking content style. If that makes any sense. It's like a little bit slower paced and it's a little bit more chill. Like, I've always been a person who has opinions about things, topics. The thing is that with the chat, I don't know what this chat wants to talk about. Like, if the chat dropped the topic and said, yo, let's talk about this, then we could probably have a pretty good conversation, but nobody ever seems to do that. He says, what's your thoughts on the big, beautiful bill? Oh, Roberts, I need to do some research on it. I see that's a good question. That's an actual fucking good question. Unfortunately, I am not well versed in the fucking legislation at this point. I haven't watched anything about it. I haven't had time to watch anything about it or figure out what is included in there. What I will say is if it's strong on immigration and trade, then I would probably agree with it, but I don't know. I have to do my own research. I don't want to talk out of my ass on that. See, when you come to politics, I do think that you can't just talk out of your ass because it will come back to bite you in the butt. Like, remember when we were talking about the AMP stuff and Royalty said, Scott, you can't talk out of your ass. You got to do your research. I feel like when you're talking about comedy stuff, when you're talking about content in general, you can talk out of, like, a content creator can talk out of their ass and it has no consequences. But if we're going to talk about politics and I'm going to go over the big, beautiful bill and discuss it on chat, then I should have a decent answer. Like, I shouldn't just talk out of my ass because it's actually something that matters. Like, it's not like we're talking about Rakai blowing up a room. Like, we're talking about something that actually matters. But you know what we can do? We can pull it up and see what it has in it. How about that? That would make good content. Let's pull it up and let's see what it has. Let's see what the bill actually has in it. Put on my glasses. Let's go full nerd here. Big, beautiful bill summary. Let's go. See, this is content, chat. This is content. Now we're not bullshitting. Now we're actually doing some fucking content. So here's what's in the big, beautiful bill that just passed the Senate. Washington AP. Republicans are getting closer to the finish line in getting their tax and spending cut bill through Congress with a final House vote possible on Wednesday. At some 887 pages, the legislation is a sprawling collection of tax breaks, spending cuts, and other Republican priorities, including new money for national defense and deportations. Okay, I like that. The deportations, I like that. National defense, in my opinion, it depends on what they mean by national defense. Because a lot of the times, they say national defense, and then it's like for offensive measures. But if it's actually for the defense of the nation, like, you know, missile defense systems, fortifying the border, that kind of stuff, then I would fortifying the Coast Guard, then I would agree with it. I would say go ahead. President Donald Trump has admonished Republicans who hold majority power in the House and Senate to skip their holiday vacations and deliver the bill by the 4th of July. Democrats are united against the legislation, but are powerless to stop the bill if Republicans are united. The Senate passed the bill with Vice President DJ Vance casting the tide-breaking vote. The House passed an earlier iteration of the bill in May with just one vote to spare. Now it will take up the Senate amendment measure. Okay, I don't know what that is, so. Tax cuts are a priority. Okay, the tax cuts. Shit. As far as tax cuts are concerned, I don't think I would rather have a stimulus than tax cuts. Does that make sense? I feel like stimulus affects the economy much more than the tax cuts do. Because the tax cuts really only help the wealthiest people. Honestly, from my perspective, it doesn't really fucking matter, you know? That's the crazy thing. When you actually have some money, it doesn't fucking matter. But if I'm looking at it from the perspective of a person who's just starting out, a younger person, I would say a stimulus benefits the economy much more than a tax cut does. Republicans say the bill is crucial because there would be a massive tax increase after December when tax breaks from Trump's first term expire. The legislation contains about $4.5 billion Oh, I said billion. That's trillion. 4.5 trillion in tax cuts. I don't know, man. I don't know. That's kind of dicey to me. The existing tax rate and brackets would become permanent under the bill. It temporarily would add new tax breaks that Trump campaigned on. No taxes on tips. Okay, no taxes on tips. I agree on that one. Overtime pay. Okay, shit. Fuck me. Fuck me. Fuck me, chat. This is actually not sounding that bad. This is actually sounding pretty good. Because no taxes on tips. I agree on that. No taxes on overtime pay. Come on, let's go. Let's fucking go. The ability to deduct interest payments for some automotive loans. Okay, shit. Along with 6,000 deductions for older adults who earn more than $75,000 a year. It would boost the $2,000 child tax credit to $2,200. Millions of families at lower income levels would not get the full credit. Why is that? Millions of families at lower income levels would not get the full credit. Why would they not get the full credit? A cap on state and local deductions called SALT would, in Florida, we don't have state tax anyway, so it doesn't make a difference. And local deductions, that only affects people in stupid states like New York or California. Would quadruple the $40,000 for 5 years. It's a provision important to New York and other high tax states, though the House wanted it to last for 10 years.